Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Currency Rebel, where we break low frequency money beliefs one trade at a time. So, today's money belief that I think I broke was the fact that I was always told that money doesn't grow on trees. Actually, paper money actually does, but also that money is hard to get, and it's actually not. And that is a hard thing for most people to receive. And it was a hard thing for me to receive. But one thing that trading has been able to do is teach me that money is not hard to get. It is actually just you having the mindset that it's not hard to get. Money is circulating all around us all the time, every day. So, but but that was the money belief, and here's the trade for today. Actually, it was two. One was actually yesterday, and one is today on Swift. So the last video I did, I was talking about how. Let me put on my. It's just basically the time zones. So this is Asia right here. This is London. I can put on New York, which I will, but I don't want to overcrowd the chart. So I was saying that it's going to come down here. London is going to come down and grab this. Basically, this is liquidity. So one thing I learned about in trading is that money needs liquidity to move. So money is energy and you need something to move it. And in trading, liquidity moves money. So, and that's what I always look for, liquidity. And it's basically showing me right here that there's probably where people are going to have stops because they probably feel like, okay, if it goes below here, it's probably going to go below here, which I also thought it could possibly do. But I knew for sure it was going to get this because if I do turn on like the New York session as well, you'll see it was going to get people from New York and Asia who had stops right here. London was going to take those stops. Okay. So that was the first thing. Then I had already had this support built in, and it was based how did I get that support? It's off of this candle right here. It's the lowest candle, right? And you just draw an extended rectangle around it. And it went and got it. It came back up. I drew a break of structure. So this was a like anyway. I go over a break of structure maybe another time. But basically, this I drew a line with an alert. I don't have an alert on there right now, but it's basically a trend line, and then I put an alert on it so that when it goes above here, I'm going to evaluate whether or not I want to come in, right? So it actually, if you look closer, it actually went off, right? And then it came back down. The alert is still on, so I know if it goes back again, it's time for me to go in. So, and how did I know where to stop? So I go by two things. I drew a fib, the 50% level. I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at the next Asia high that probably has it's basically, I look at it as a stopping point because it's close to here, right? Close to this trend line. So basically, what was I going to say? You can create a trend line if you want. I'm probably going to have to readjust this. because it's kind of moving in a somewhat of a parabolic manner. And usually I have to do this as it's happening. And sometimes I just play it smart and just take the lower one, because I know at least it's probably going to pass there, and I do maybe a little bit below that lowest one, and not be so greedy. So that one was worth about 7%, right? And that was yesterday. So then London finishes, New York comes in, it comes back down. I want to see, is it going to develop a trend, or, and then first I had this trend line, parallel trend line going up through here like this, right? Asia came in and basically it couldn't get any higher than this New York and London, right? High. So that kind of made me think, okay, it's probably going to try to come back down. But I wanted to see if it was still going to, oh, this was the entry. I'm sorry. So it came back down in New York. It had this bounce off of the 50% level, which was and I just basically had a this support that's in gray. Let me take this off so that y'all can see. That's in gray. I don't know if you can really see it. It's like going all the way across. It's kind of darkish light gray. Came from all the way from the left, like basically it probably came all the way. I've been had this one on there. Trying to find it. Where is that? Here it is. And this is basically when it was going up. So I just kept that support. So usually if it's a strong support, right, which it was, it caused a major spike. So I'll leave those type of supports on there. And so that one basically I didn't come out because this was Asia, right? So it kind of did this little bounce up because I'm thinking that we're also about to come out of here, out of this trend line, this white trend line that's coming down. And it basically happened again, but I knew they probably was going to take some of this liquidity right in here, which they did right here. New York did. It's just a little peak below these candles right here. All right. So, and I had I said, worst case scenario, I'll like a little bit below break even, like down here. I know it's a little far, but I was willing to, if I knew if it was coming down there, I probably could have been higher, but I took it, I had a mindset that, okay, if it goes below here, I'm coming out. I probably could have just did break even, but I didn't. But it didn't go there, so it didn't matter. As far as my high, let me take this off because this is something I just added. Was my 50%, and it had all these Asia highs in here. I knew they was going to try to take that out, so I went at 155 because the 50% level said 155.56. So I just went 155, and it basically took my order at 155, which was about there, and so from here to 155, about 14%. So like a little over 14%, right? So now I don't jump right back in too quick, especially when we're not in an upward trend. So like if you look at the, let me take this off before I go there. If I were to go to my higher time frame, we're still like in this lower trend, but it's basically retracing from a, like where it went up and then it retraced back down, but it was still a downward trend. So I want to see it come out of here, bounce back down, and then based off of where the support hits, or I'm not saying it's going to go all the way up here, but I'm saying like I want to see it come out of there and bounce, hit a support, because I always buy on support, not resistance. I have done that in the past, like waiting for a breakout, and I always got burnt. So I made a rule for myself, always buy on support and it needs to have a bounce on that support, and I need to know what is my risk before I even know my profits. Like I need to know how much of a risk am I taking. Like if it hits below my stop, is it, within a reasonable amount of a loss. So let me see. Let's go back. And when I'm trading, like I keep my alerts on the 5-minute, but when I trade, I'm in the trade and the thing is moving, I look at the 1 minute. And I do my trend lines off of the 1 minute. So you see, like, I don't know what it's doing now. I'm thinking it's probably just going to come back down. But who knows? I'm going to let it do its thing, because basically it's like trying to take people's, trying to deceive people so that they can get their liquidity. Because I remember liquidity moves the money in trading. And that's just the name of the game. So I try to jump in there when they have already taken some liquidity and they're ready to move with that liquidity. And then I come out. Once they hit the target, I come out. And then when they take some more liquidity and they are ready to move again, then move again. And you just keep repeating that cycle. So, but that was the trade for yesterday and today. And let's just go to the spreadsheet. I probably have not updated this. I haven't. But that was on the 22nd, 0.07. I know it was 18th. Wednesday of last week was 18. And then today, 0.14. Right? So you see how, like, you don't have to do, like, let me say this one last thing and then I'll let you guys go. And I probably should do a whole nother, yeah, I will, because this will make the video too long. So, but I will do another video on my rules for trading, not just for inside the trade, or I want to talk about my rules for entering a trade, rules for exiting a trade. How do I choose which coins? Do I do margin trading? Why I primarily do long trades and I don't do a whole lot of short trades. You probably heard the word drawdowns. Why I don't do a lot of those. Hardly any of those. And it might seem like the old-fashioned way, but it is the most conservative, least risky way of trading. And I'll talk about that in the next video. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.